Hello everyone, this is Nolo Digital and it's me, Siruchi, your host for the day. So today I am here with someone very inspiring, strong, young, and self-made entrepreneur who we can take a lot of motivation and inspiration. And she is currently working on World Bank as a private sector specialist based in Washington D.C. And I would love to welcome Anupa Aryal ji. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Suruchi. Thank you for having me.
So, your show start गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ I was thinking, so while I was thinking about all these things, why not talk about women empowerment भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई सोच आयो क्या. So let's talk about women empowerment because हामी चाहिँ यस्तो कन्ट्रीमा बिलोङ गर्छौँ where women empowerment यो तपाईँको स्टोरी सुनेर चाहिँ कतिजना चाहिँ मोटिभेट हुन्छन्, इन्स्पायर हुन्छन् भनेर चाहिँ तपाईँसँग हामीले कुरा गर्न खोजेको म. So let's talk about yourself. So what's your story? Tell us about yourself and what you do.
My story is about change. It's about resilience, and it's about simplicity. Change in a sense that I've gone through a lot of transition in my professional as well as personal life. Professional in a sense, I started my career with the private sector. I used to work for a commercial bank in Nepal. I was also a business educator. I used to teach undergrad marketing. And then I moved to a bilateral. So I was working as an advisor with GIZ. And then I moved to multilateral. And that's where I've been. I'm with World Bank now, like you said in my introduction. And I've worked in several topics, but right now I focus more on private sector development, specifically on value chain competitiveness and entrepreneurship. On the personal front, I've gone through a lot of changes and I've come out a stronger person, a resilient person. That takes me to the second part of my story. I'm part of the generation that has gone through a lot. We went through 10 years of civil war in Nepal. I was one of the survivors of 2015 earthquake. And now with the entire world, we're going through this lockdown. So, you know, we've been through a lot. This generation has been through a lot, and I'm one of them. And that has kind of like taught me to be resilient. The third part, simplicity, that is coming with age, I guess. I've been reading a lot about happiness, about making your life simple, books like Power of Now, books like Joys of Happiness. And what I've learned is trying to focus more on present, like being present in present rather than dwelling too much on your past or your future, but really trying to enjoy the simple things in life and focus on present. So that's my story. It's about change, it's about resilience, and it's about simplicity.
What kind of entrepreneur do you work with?
One is, we call them subsistence entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who are forced into entrepreneurship because they have no other choice. Job market is not good enough, but they're not motivated to grow and create more jobs. The second type, we call them growth entrepreneurs. So these are the entrepreneurs who are motivated to grow in the regional, international market, even in local market, and then create more jobs. So the kind of work I do is mostly focused on the second type, which is growth entrepreneurs.
Okay. So what kind of support do this entrepreneur get?
Again, we work with policymakers, and we kind of like, you know, take a higher level policy interventions. So to describe it in layman's term, I would say for any entrepreneur to grow, it's not only their internal business operation, but there are different stakeholders in entrepreneurship ecosystem that they would have to interface with. For example, access to finance. So any entrepreneur for a country, in a country to grow, they would need a proper finance, whether it would be traditional banking finance or non-traditional like angel investment or venture capital or any kind of growth finance. They would need a proper infrastructure in place. They would need a very conducive policy environment for them to be able to start a business, be able to easily close a business, hire, fire people, a lot of different policy environment. You know, they would need to make sure that there is a ready market at the local level as well as international and regional level. So all these different stakeholders would have to come together. All these elements would have to come together for an entrepreneur to grow in any environment. So what we do is we work with the governments of emerging countries. I'm now involved in Africa and Asia. Also have a project in Nepal on entrepreneurship. So what we do is work with the government of these emerging countries and help them strengthen this entire ecosystem.
When did you move to America and what brought you there?
I came to America as a student. That was like 1999. I was still married then. I came with my ex-husband and we both came here for our grad school and we went back. So that was the first phase. The second time was more like a plan B. I never thought I would come and live here. I had a very good job, pretty well established in Nepal, but then I don't know whether you've read Sheryl Sandberg's book, Plan B. So that was more like a plan B for me. After my divorce, you talked about women empowerment, so let me just touch upon it already. Divorce is still a taboo in Nepal, and you kind of like lose a lot. It's not only the relationship with your spouse that you lose, but then you lose your identity, you lose your financial security, you lose the social network. So I was almost like homeless after divorce, and it was very hard to stay in Nepal. So I started kind of like browsing. I started looking for jobs outside the country. I was almost about to move to Indonesia, but then I got this job in headquarters. I was already with World Bank, but I was kind of like, you know, this was more like moving to DC, and it all worked out, and I moved here, and now DC is home for me. So yeah, it was my plan B, but like Sheryl Sandberg would say, I'm kind of like rocking the best out of my plan B.
Know that you're a single mom, so how do you bring a balance in your professional as well as personal life?
I think it's the love. It's the love I have for my child and the love I have for my career. That's kind of like, you know, making me balance the both. Um, and that's not enough, you know. They say it takes a village to raise a child. So when I moved here, first my parents were here with me for several months, helping me get settled. And again, you know, I have a pretty demanding job in terms of like, you know, I travel quite a bit, and being a single mom, it's not easy. But what I've done is over the years, I've built a very strong network. I've built few very strong friendship, and you know, if they're watching this, they would know who they are. And I'm very lucky to have few family members living in the area. So it's more my friends and my family, everybody coming together to help me balance being a mom, and that to a good one, and also my career.
So if you could start all over again in life, what would you do differently?
Um, I think all these journeys made me who I am today, and I pretty much like who I am. So absolutely nothing. I wouldn't change anything.
I would love to know what's the biggest factor that has helped you to be successful?
Again, success is a journey, and I think we all are in that path. I would define success as being a good mother, you know, being able to hold a career, and lately, I think happiness has been my biggest goal. That's something I've been thriving for. That's something I've been working on. Um, so I guess, like I said earlier, being present, focusing on now, um, that's helped me a lot in life.
What was the hardest decision you have ever made?
In my life,
Yes, in your life.
I think the hardest one was several. There were several, but the hardest one was breaking my relationship of 20 years. That was the hardest one.
Thank you, Anupaji, for sharing your experience with us. It was very, very inspiring, and thank you so much again. And this is it for today. I hope you guys like it. And if you guys have any questions, any suggestions regarding this video, you can comment down below. We'll be back with new topic on our new episode. Till then, keep loving, keep supporting, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Till then, take care. Ta-da, bye-bye.